I'm Josh Light with PoliticIt.com here in Delaware with gubernatorial candidate Jeff Craigg, who's running as a Republican. How are you doing, Jeff?
Good to be here, and I'm glad you made it today.
Well, thank you, Jeff. So we've looked at the numbers online. You have a strong digital influence. Why are people talking about you online?
I think it's because what we do is our focus in this campaign, online and in person, is really the voter and the constituency and what is interesting to Delawareans. So this isn't about me, it isn't about our issues, it's about Delawareans. And I think when you are trying to communicate a message, if you're talking about something that's interesting to voters, interesting to the people you're communicating to, it takes care of itself.
And what's a big difference between you and your competitor in this race?
The big difference is he pretty much represents the old school. He represents some old accounting, financial issues. The big issue in this race, which I think is also true nationally, is jobs and the economy. We have 30,000 unemployed Delawareans. That's the hardcore number, the number out actively looking for work today. We only have a population in Delaware of 900,000 people. If you take the people who are underemployed, people who have quit looking for work, and people have taken a job maybe below their educational level, that number would be closer to 50,000. So almost every Delawarean knows a neighbor or a friend or a former colleague who is unemployed or underemployed. And so the real issue is, how do you get to work and how do you take care of that? The governor runs as if he is a business-friendly candidate. He's a big business-friendly candidate. He's a Wall Street guy. He's a big banking guy. I'm a guy with an insurance and financial background, worked all over the country, but my focus is really on small businesses. And small businesses, as we all know, is the engine of economic growth. That's where we get growth coming out of a recession, so we really need to change our focus on small businesses, on Delaware businesses, and it gives us a good comparison and contrast with the governor's programs.
How's your experience prepared you for governor?
I have an economic background, my formal education, and I worked for 24 years in the life and health insurance industry, selling essentially concepts, intellectual products. So when I market and I run for office, I'm doing the same thing I've done for the last 24 years. So I think that really helps me hone the message, makes me feel comfortable talking about things you can't put your hands around, like security, safety, making people feel safer in their homes, all those issues, which are what voters care about, and it's what I care about.
What are voters saying regarding fiscal issues here in Delaware?
Voters are confused. Voters really want government to be successful. They want government to help them. They want government not to impede in their lives. That's much easier said than done. We have a great example here. Our largest employer in the state for a number of years was the DuPont company, a large chemical company. They have just terminated their retiree health insurance plan. There are over 80,000 retirees that will not have health insurance through a group health plan as of the end of the year. DuPont is having them all go out and buy individual Medicare supplement policies. Well, for people who have lived most of their adult lives as employees of DuPont and have always gotten their health care and their health insurance through DuPont, they're now in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they're having to go out into the marketplace for the first time. The concept behind Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is to make people feel more secure. It's had the opposite effect. It's made people feel less secure. So people are looking to their government for new ideas. I want to feel secure. This isn't making me feel secure. The bad economy doesn't make people feel secure. So really, as government, we need to craft a better message, a better solution that government actually makes people feel more secure.
What social issues are they concerned about?
I think a lot of the social issues are not in the forefront. I think there's an underlying, and I don't know if I would characterize this as a social issue, but it gets to it. There are a lot of people who just don't feel that the system is fair anymore. They've worked hard, they've worked their whole life. Maybe they work for a large employer, they've been laid off, and they say, well, look, I did the things I'm supposed to do. Why have I wound up not where I expected to be? And I think that's the number one social issue. And the answer to that, almost any kind of security issue or how do I feel, is about a job. It's an opportunity for somebody to have a job. So I think the financial issues are directly linked to people's social concerns. So if we take care of people, we give them the opportunity to work, I think a lot of those social issues take care of themselves.
How are you using social media in this campaign?
We're using it quite a bit. One of the things I like about Facebook is Facebook gives us the ability to push, and then we get a response back from our people who follow us on Facebook, whether they're supporters or whether they're people who support the other guy. We've used Facebook successfully to announce events. Delaware has about 87 municipalities and smaller cities and towns. We can announce an event at a diner 2-3 days in advance, push it out through Facebook, and our Facebook followers can tell us they will be there, and we can create a crowd and create an event much easily than what we could do without social media. Twitter gives us an even quicker response. We can comment on the news of the day almost immediately, and have people then comment on our comments. So I think social media really gives you the opportunity to have a conversation with voters, and that's just huge as a politician to really know what people are thinking.
How's your campaign going?
Our campaign, we're very happy with how it's going. We're running an underdog campaign. There's overwhelmingly Democratic registration in the northern third of the state. But the issues we're running on are not Republican Democratic issues. They're economic security issues, they're job issues, and all this new media. I'm 51 years old. I'm not a whiz-bang techno kid, but I have a smartphone that allows me to use Twitter, use Facebook, get emails. Stuff that I all had to do 5 or 6 years ago at a desk, I can now all do from the road every single day. What will be interesting to see is how effective our message actually is with that kind of communication back and forth. Those tools make me much more relevant, make me much more accessible, and so from that standpoint, it can be exhausting, but I think we're really getting the opportunity to talk and dialogue with voters.
Jeff, where can people go to learn more about you?
Craigg2012.com. It's Jeff Craigg is who I am, and the website is Craigg2012.com, and it's spelled CRAGG.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.